guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about.
My ponytail goes up to Jesus, and that's just the way it is. I don't even want to hear it. Welcome back to another episode of Mary Shamus. If you already subscribed, welcome back, my darling. And if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe and join a part of the family. And also click the bell and join a part of the Morgan Shay Notify a gang. Also, I thought we'd open my birthday card that I got from my best friend Ashley in the mail. Peace comes from knowing you are. Oh, Ashley. And on your birthday, I hope you know that you're an amazing person who's appreciated more than words can say. Happy birthday. And then she wrote me a little letter because the bitch is just trying to get me to ruin a lash. She's just trying. Man, 2020 has been a roller coaster. But the best thing out of 2020 is you. Fuck. I'm so glad we've become good friends. Thank you for being such a good person. No matter what happens in our lives, I will always be one of your best friends. I hope you have the best birthday ever this year. I love you, girl. Oh, one more thing. No matter how much hate you get on your channel, always remember you are beautiful, you are kind, and you are worthy of amazing things. And you have so many people in your corner. And that is the birthday card from my best friend with a gift card. Due to COVID, I wasn't able to have a birthday party for my 31st birthday, and I'm not going to air out her things, but her husband is a security officer in a prison, and we weren't able to do anything anyways, but me and her weren't able to get together because of that. And yeah, shout out to Ashley. Everybody, put some hearts down in the comments for Ashley. Thank you, Ashley, for this card and the gift card. You are my favorite thing from 2020, and I love you so much. All right, guys, so my lashes might be wonky after this, but we're just going to have to deal with it. We might have some mascara, but I cried. It is what it is. I don't know what more you want from me, okay? I don't know what more. But anyways, today's video is going to be about the time I got catfished. And there's been several occasions that I got catfished, but two stick out in mind. And today I'm going to tell you one of the stories. The one I'm telling you today is like, you really went there. You really went there with me. So this dates back to 2013. I was just coming out of my second marriage. Oh yes, that's right, kids. Chris will be my third. And I was absolutely miserable. I had lost my nanny. Me and him had split not long after my nanny had passed away, and I was devastated. I felt absolutely alone. I'm gonna have to cut that out, but just know that I was going through a lot. I felt like I had no friends in my corner. Thank God now I have friends like Ashley who I can trust around my mans, if that makes sense. But anyways, I was going through it. I was really going through it. And also was living in an apartment, me and my mom. My mom had recently started dating her now husband. And so she was busy off with him. When she wasn't working, she was busy with him. Everybody had their own lives. My sister who would visit us often in that apartment, my sister lived closer when we lived in this apartment. We lived in Sevierville at the time. And so my sister would come visit all the time, but shortly after she found out she was pregnant with my nephew Hayden, and the rest is history, people. So I was lonely, very, very, very lonely. I go out, and this is not clickbait. My sister Tiara, I will have her in the comments, and she will confirm everything I'm about to tell you. This night, not only did I get catfished, but my car got stole. So we're going to get into the story. So my sister Tiara and me, we are always conveniently single right at the same damn time. At this time, I was single, she was single. we were ready to mingle, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm always the one who like comes up with the bright plans. Okay, so I go to my sister Tiara and I'm like, hey, I found this dating app from a coworker and it's legit. And I feel like me and you could get on it and we could, you know, get us a hot date. It was plenty of fish, just to put that out there. So I got like a bunch of messages, not to sound like whatever, but I did, okay? I'm very confident. I might be fat, but honey, I can still do the things that a man wants done, okay? So I get this one in particular message that sticks out to me, and I have a type, okay? I have a very specific type, and pretty much all of my men have looked about similar, except for one of them. No, two of them. Two of them have looked like, where do they come from? And the rest of them like have a lot of similarities in personality and in their looks. So this guy's picture pops up and I'm like, yummy. So he had already sent me a message. And that's how I see, like, because I was just like scrolling through my messages and looking at the picture, if I'm being honest. And I see his picture and I'm like, oh, okay. So I click on him and I read the message. And I'm like, oh, he's cute for sure. And so my sister Tiara was in the living room. I go in the living room. I've already had a conversation with this person and gave him my phone number like a dum-dum. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to take you to dinner tonight. I'm like, okay, cool. So he comes and picks me up. We go to dinner. Next weekend, we're going to get together. Boom. I go home. I'm so damn excited. I tell Tiara, I'm like, look, we've got a date. We got to get you a babysitter for my niece. Like, we are doing this. Like, this is happening. She's like, oh, I'm ready. I am ready with a capital R. We get in my little Honda and we go and meet them at the Strawberry Plains exit. So for those of you who are around here, we meet them at the McDonald's off the Strawberry Plain exit. Me and Tiara in my car, they're in theirs. Now, where the catfish comes into play is on our first date. But he wasn't who he was in the pictures. And you will find out why later. But I found this out on our date that we went on the weekend prior. As soon as I walked down, I'm like, and I'm very blunt. So I'm like, you're definitely not who you are in your picture. Like, not at all. Still cute, which confused me, but not who he was in his picture. So I mentioned it to him and he's like, oh, that's weird. And that was it. And I don't know. Keep that in mind. Kind of trying to find out, like, figure out what to do. And they're like, okay, we run to Walmart. We do like all this lame shit. And I'm like, look, okay, are we on a grown up a date or what are we doing here? And they're like, okay, well, let's go to Douglas Dam. And I'm like, okay, so we go to Douglas Dam. It was romantic, you know, it was nighttime. There was nobody there but like night fishermen. And Tiara comes to me and she's like, hey, can I take your car with Toad, we'll call him, up to the overlook? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I hang out down with, we'll call him Catfish. I'm down there with Catfish and she goes up there with Toad. So I don't know, maybe like an hour and a half passes by and me and Catfish are like, where the hell is Tiara and Toad? And I'm like, well, I want to go up there because, you know, I feel like I'm the oldest, like she's my responsibility. Y'all, I will never in my life forget this freaking sight. Never, ever. I swear to God, this is the funniest shit ever. We're driving up the hill. So if you've ever been to an overlook at the dam, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So we're driving like up a hill and in the distance, because it's pitch fucking dark, you can see my barefoot ass sister walking down the hill crying, saying, oh my God. I'm like, what? And she's like, he stole the car. He stole your car. I'm like, what? Get in the car. And so she gets in Catfish's car. And I'm like, where the hell would have he went? And he's like, well, let's just go check his parents' house. He's not there. We drive around for like a couple of more hours. I've called the police. I've called my mom. My mom's like, what the heck? Blah, blah. I'm like, What the hell? So what happened, let me just go ahead and preface. Tiara had to go to the bathroom. And so she didn't take the keys. She trusted him. She went into the bathroom, come out, and he had driven away in my car. Wrong move, Toad. Wrong motherfucking move. So we're driving around another couple of hours waiting on the police. Now, by the time that I call the police, you guys, they are having their 6 a.m. meeting. So they tell me it's going to be 7 a.m. before an officer can meet with you. I'm like, so you're literally telling me that no officer can meet with me right now? And they're like, no, not unless it's like a life-threatening emergency. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Okay, whatever. So we just kind of sat around and wait on the police, and because there's like, what else are we going to do? All of a sudden, this motherfucker drives by where we are parked. Guys, it was a 4-way with stop signs, not red lights or nothing, but with stop signs. He flies by us, doesn't stop obviously at the stop signs. I don't even know how fast. Catfish said like he had to be going 100 miles an hour, like fast. Veering off this road, like driving like a maniac. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And he was like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't hung out with him since like high school. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You let my sister go alone in a car with a man that you haven't seen since high school? A lot can happen in that amount of time. Like, for real. So he says he's going towards his parents' house. And I said, well, the police are going to be here any minute. About that time, the police pull up and we're like, he literally just passed. And so he's like, they've got him. He's down there at his parents' house. So basically the police, I guess, they were waiting on him, basically, is the best way to explain it. And something I forgot to mention, this police department, they knew him. Oh, as soon as I said his name, they were like, oh, okay, we know. When we get down there, he's literally like, tell them that you let me. Tell them that you let me. I'm like, let you what, bitch? You stole my car. Are you joking me? Tell them I'll let you. Whatever. In my car, he has 2 12-packs of beer, bottles of pills, weed, all this shit. They find like a pipe in the car, all this paraphernalia. I'm like, well, can this car be checked good, please? Because I have my nieces and nephews in this car. And I was like adamant. I was like, I am not leaving until this car is checked. Like, whatever. And so one of the officers was like, well, we have a K9. We can let it out in the car. They let the K9 out. This planted underneath the driver's seat of my car. Had my nieces or nephews got a hold of that shit, I'm just saying. I'm just here to tell you guys right now. Like, I was furious. That sealed his fate. So after this, okay, I continue. We have a court date, obviously, to go to court over the whole stealing my car thing. And Catfish was like, the day before court, he was like, look, I need to tell you something. I had tried to like text him, whatever, he hadn't responded. And I'm the type of person, like, if you don't respond to me after like 2 texts, maybe 3, and that's if I'm like loving it. But if you don't respond to me after a couple of texts, I'm over it. Like, I will not chase you. It will be over my dead body. It will not happen. I'd rather croak. Like, it's not going to happen. So I completely ignore him. And then the day before the court date, he literally calls me and he's like, hey, I just need to tell you something. I'm married. I have kids. My wife knows about the situation. She's going to be with me at court tomorrow. I'm like, oh, really, Catfish? I'm like, okay. So we get there, and during the meantime, of course, Toad had gotten out of jail. He was arrested, and then his parents had bailed him out. He had obsessively tried to contact myself and my sister over Facebook. He was like blowing us up, trying to get us to drop the charges. I was not dropping the charges. Absolutely freaking not. You left my sister at the Overlook. She said that he had left like 30, 45 minutes before she started even walking down the hill. And she thought that maybe he was playing a prank. Somebody could have hurt her. Something bad could have happened, and that would have been a whole different situation. I said, I want a restraining order, basically. I want him to leave me alone, and I'll be fine. I want him to not ever have any contact with myself or my sister ever, never again. And that's the end of it, sis. That is the last time that I ever seen Toad or Catfish. Wifey Poo, I know that you follow me. I hate to tell you, but not too long ago, your old man tried to slide up on in them DMs again. And I messaged you and you didn't listen. But if you ever want proof, baby doll, I've got the proof. There is the first like catfish story, and I have another one. This one just mainly pissed me off because it could have put my nieces and nephews at risk. It put my sister at risk. You stole my freaking property. And I got catfished in the process. Like, and my sister didn't even get laid. That's just rude. That's rude and unethical as hell. But if you did enjoy this catfish story time, do be sure to like this video. Share it with your friends. Let them know. Also, be sure to leave you a little heart down in the comments for Ashley for my birthday card and gift card. And yeah, you guys, be sure that you subscribe before you leave. Follow me on social media. I'm extremely active on TikTok and Snapchat right now. They're all linked down below. I'm mainly very, very active on TikTok, and it's at morganshay33. Follow me on TikTok. And yeah, and until next time, bye.